Today we're going to get the splits in the neck sorted out, as well as possibly getting the neck fretted. I don't know, but we'll see how we get on. So I've had a minor change of plan. Originally what I said is in all of these splits I was going to scorch them because it gives a nice texture. It's just pretty nice. But the only issue with that is with this neck joint I've glued it together with Titebond, which isn't going to resist the scorching. Even though it's only a tiny bit of the glue joint, it's not going to be too great, and also getting a blowtorch in there is going to be a bit dodgy. So what I thought is, instead of scorching it, I was going to dye it instead. So this is some black dye. However, we're going to take it a step further than that. This dye is only going to be the background, because what I'm going to be doing over that dye is applying copper leaf to it. So I've got some of the adhesive here, which is called Size, bit of a weird name. And in this lovely box that I've never actually finished, I have got a big old booklet of copper leaf, which, oh, I love opening up so much. So we're going to apply some copper leaf in there. Now that is going to cover the black background on there. However, what we're then going to apply to that is this, which is called liver of sulfur. And now this stuff smells of rotten eggs. It is absolutely disgusting, but what it does is it applies a patina very quickly to metal. So with copper, what it tends to do is turn it this blacky blue colour, and it's actually what I did on my previous base before then applying the silver patina over it. So if I have any pictures, I'll overlay the copper patina right now, but it looks quite good. The reason I'm putting the black behind it is because sometimes when I was applying this, it kind of peeled off some of the metal leaf and exposed the layers below, so it's not going to be too much of an issue if it exposes some black underneath. So the first job is to clean up the inside of these splits, because I didn't do it last night, and previously I just got in there with a rasp and sandpaper and did it, but I want to kind of get a rough finish in there, so I'm going to use a gouge for what I can in there and then finish the rest off with sandpaper, and that's going to give me kind of some little scallops in there and should look quite nice and should speed up the process. So it's all going well so far. Just started on filling the little crack in the bottom of the neck, when all of a sudden I may have accidentally punched the dye over. Now I Right, let's see what the damage of this is then. It was inevitable, really. We were gonna do something like this. Oh Christ. Oh Lord. Okay. Ooh, cool pattern though. I mean, it's not. Oh bum. I'll spread it. Actually, let's put the lid on first. Where's the lid? Because I'm just going to end up knocking it over again. And on the floor. I mean, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad either. I think that'll sand out eventually. Let's just leave it for now. Right, so now I'm going to seal this surface with a few layers of shellac sanding sealer. I think I may have changed my mind with this. Like, it looks very, very good, just stained in there with a little bit of sealer on it. You can't quite see the texture on the camera, I don't think. Oh, you can a little bit around that split at the bottom there. Yeah, it's quite difficult to see, but it looks pretty quality in there. I don't know, I think if I was to put the copper leaf on there, it might just be a bit over the top and unnecessary. Also, when I apply it, I have to put this stuff on, which is the adhesive, and this stuff takes 3 hours to dry. Once that 3 hours is up, then you apply the copper leaf, and then you have to wait, I don't know, 24 hours again for that to dry on. And then after that, I'd have to apply that patina thing, which would add more time to it. And all that would be for something that's just covering up something that looks pretty decent as it is already, so I think it's probably unneeded. I'll save the gilding for another project. So before gluing these body blanks together, some of these bars are looking a little bit manky and gnarled up, so what I'm going to do is tidy them up. I've got a Scotch-Brite pad thing here, a bit of wire wool, which is 4/0, some sandpaper for taking out some heavy nicks, and some other sandpaper for taking out some less heavy nicks. So yeah, here we go. I hate sanding so much, but these are now ready to be glued together. Firstly, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of masking tape, which is this low tack stuff, on the inside of the crack here, so that when I get the squeeze out, it doesn't like get all stuck in the crack there and be a little bit of a pain to remove later on. So got a little black mark on each side of it, and that is where the masking tape is going to line up with. I'll put a link to this masking tape in the description below because it is really great stuff. I've only found it recently, but it doesn't damage the material whatsoever, and it does kind of resist things like stains and all that as well. Kind of acts like a painter's tape. Right, so with those, I didn't organise this very well. Down there. Oh, right. So with those all glued up, we can now focus on the bars that need to be set into the neck. So obviously this neck is pre-glued. Oh no, I just got glue on the fretboard. Oh no. Yeah. So as I was saying, the neck is all glued together, so it means that the only way to get these bars in is to drill straight through this side and then into the opposite side as well. And once again, going to be using the drill guide for this. The only thing I need to make sure I do is don't go too far down, because then the bar is going to wobble in there too much and is going to be difficult to fix in place. Now I've got the area for the pickup here. Need to make sure I don't put a bar too close to the top in that vicinity there, because the pickup's going to be recessed in and we don't want to be hitting a bar there obviously. So these big bars will be more towards the back. I don't know, let's do one around there. Big one at the front here as well maybe. Why do I feel like I'm not thinking this through? Is anything wrong with this? Nah, sod it. Let's go. Right, so I've made a right old mess, as you can see. This workshop properly needs a tidy, oh my lord. But the 10mm dowels are still quite a tight fit in the wider holes in this neck, as they were in the split ones down here as well that I've just glued up. However, those I was just able to mash together. However, if these ones are too tight in this neck, it's going to be difficult to remove them if there's an issue further on down the line, because they're properly going to wedge themselves in place. So what I've done is sanded them quite heavily, and then at my sharpening station, set this down a bit, I've put them in this bag, so they're in the bottom there, and they're in my waterstone pond, because metal expands when it's hot, and this workshop's quite hot, so I think if I store them in water, surely that's going to do the opposite, I think. So I'm going to leave them like that overnight. They're in this bag, so the finish of them won't be affected whatsoever either. But for now, I think what I'm going to do to finish up the day is whack the frets into the fretboard, I reckon. But first, while that router is going next door, I'm going to have a tidy up. Right, so with this fret wire, just going to bend a small radius in, ow, that's quite sharp that, isn't it? a small radius in it that's a little bit tighter than the radius on the fretboard. Cut it to length. Cool. That's tough stuff, that. Oh, blimey, that's gonna knacker my pliers. Now, if anything, these fret slots are probably cut a little bit too. Let's get a bit closer with the camera, actually. So the fret has been bent a little bit tighter than the radius of the fretboard. And from what I've read, the premise is to hit the edges in first and work your way to the center. I'm going to start with the 24th fret here because that's the one I'm least likely to use. But as I was just saying, I'm not entirely sure if this saw kerf is a little bit too tight. When I tested it on maple before, which shouldn't have a lot more give than what ebony does, but I don't know. Let's just give it a go. Let's bend it even tighter. Ooh, the fret's bent. Oh dear. Must have been from when I cut it. Oh no, it started mashing up the fretboard. It's okay, I think the fret will cover it. Try again. Damn. Oh, I've just split it. Damn. Ooh, that bit there. Can you see that on the camera? We're going to get a bit of glue under there. Where's the glue? I literally just had it. There it is. I think I'm going to have to slightly widen these fret slots because that seemed a little bit too tight. Right, so I've just cut that dodgy end off and now I can verify that both ends of the tang are nice and square. I do have another saw here, which was given to me by a customer at Axminster. It goes under the name Greyhound's Toolworks. I'll put a link to their Instagram page in the description because they make some absolute saw porn. It's so nice. But this, it seems to be the same width as the Japanese saw, but I don't know. I've got high hopes for this. Oh. Oh no, it started peeling that up as well. Damn. Glue in there as well. I'm widening that one with the Veritas dovetail saw, and I have made the fret a little bit more curved, so it's going to hit the corners first. Come on, be nice. Third time lucky. Yes! So now it looks like I've got to go all the way back along this with the Veritas dovetail saw. Right, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. Let that glue dry on the fretboard because I've just fixed that repair and also the body blanks. So, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next episode.